Get the Friendo Club set up today and get access to over 700 Going In Raw bonus episodes, our monthly Big Blue predictions challenges, and the ability to ask questions at Going In Raw. We also offer the Steven Larson comic book and exclusive Friendo Club t-shirt. Just hit join here at youtube.com/Steven Larson or go to patreon.com/Steven Larson to sign up. Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we are going to be reacting to your hot takes from the world of professional wrestling. Lots of stuff going on, including, of course, we are on the road to WrestleMania. The Royal Rumble is just ahead. But first, we're going to talk about some all elite wrestling because W. Stein 79 says with this hot take.
Hot take.
Toni Storm should not have revealed her timeless self so soon.
Yeah, I agree with this 1,000%. I just watched the segment. I hadn't seen it yet before
Sure.
we started. The segment itself was good.
It was good.
It was good. You know, if they had done that segment on that episode of Collision and just carried it through till Mariah left the ring, but don't do the reveal, then you start drawing it out a little bit. You got 3 weeks till Grand Slam.
I like how we were at the point, Larson, where you were like, you know, man, you really got a lot you could work with here. This could be a really cool storyline. Grand Slam is too soon, and now you're like, all right, listen, you're gonna do this thing. You got 3 weeks. Like,
well, I'm saying if the idea
taken a lot longer. Yeah,
they could have taken a lot longer. That's why I was saying I was kind of for a while. I assumed it was going to be Toni and Mariah at Grand Slam, but looking at kind of like the arc of the story, I was like, this seems too soon. Take your time. Maybe Toni will have a match against Mercedes or something. I don't know. Another match on the card. So she gets on the card. So she wrestles in Australia. But now that we're getting Toni versus Mariah, even then, this is too soon. You know, it during her promo after Mariah, you know, she hits her with the belt a bunch, leaves the ring. Toni says, they say the hardest role there is to play is yourself, and I've been playing a role of a lifetime. So is the idea that she returns as rookie Toni Storm, so Mariah lets her guard down? Like, I don't know. I'm unclear about what the motivation is to return as rookie Toni Storm, which that's one of those things that could be illuminated if now that the match is set up, they spend the next 3 weeks kind of investigating all of that, maybe on the go-home Dynamite, before Grand Slam. They have the full reveal. This is all subterfuge. I was timeless Toni Storm this whole time.
So because there are still several weeks left, maybe there will be more meat to the story. And on top of that, given that there was, this happened on Collision, there are, technically maybe, 6 episodes or whatever, that they could explore this story further. I am not optimistic that we're going to get much more. I'm just saying that there is room in case, we want to roll with let's see how it plays out. I'm with you. I think the segment itself was really good because Toni Storm is really good. So there wasn't going to be a situation where, oh man, that segment really stunk. Mm-hmm. That being said, I think what you're saying is absolutely right. What was the point of her doing this? Was it, as you say, for Mariah to let her guard down? In which case we didn't really get much of that. Like, Mariah and Toni have been kind of separated during this entire return as rookie Toni Storm. During her performance, as she says, there was definitely a way to do it where it was more impactful. That being said, the response was overwhelmingly positive, with the exception of some people who were like, why are you going to put this on a Collision where nothing else happened? By the way, when people say, oh, because I got this, because I talked about this a little bit on Wrestle Juice. Mm-hmm. The people who say, well, you want Collision to be a more important show, and yet when important things happen there, you complain about it. I understand that philosophy, but I disagree with it wholeheartedly because it's one important angle in a vacuum of other stuff that doesn't make any difference. Meaning they didn't promote this episode of Collision as a special episode with like a Mox match or some high stakes who's going to win type match. They didn't do that. They didn't promote this in any other way. Things can't just happen and then you expect people to, other things might happen. No. Yeah. You have to promote these episodes as something that you want to tune into, not just do stuff and then expect people to say, oh, man, I might as well tune in next week because maybe something great will happen or maybe it won't like most weeks.
Yeah.
So that's my stance on that.
No, I agree. It's a catch-22 where we as viewers of AEW have learned not to expect a whole lot from Collision. Mm-hmm. And then when something of any sort of magnitude does happen on Collision, you're like, well, why'd you put that on Collision?
Right, because I don't even think it's like a chicken and egg catch-22 type thing because, like, there's a way to make Collision a show that people tune into.
Yeah.
You promote it.
You promote it and you build excitement about what's going to be on the show. Not just
exactly.
that week, but weeks to follow. And then, but again, that goes back to a lot of the root issues at AEW is just not paying attention to like the fundamentals of basic storytelling a lot of the time.
It's like, dude, if everybody tunes into Collision this coming week and jack shit happens like usual, like, okay, and then next week, same thing, and then the week after that, nobody tunes in and something big happens, and then all those same people are going to be like, well, yeah, it's important stuff. How are you supposed to? You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. Every once in a while, something important happens on Collision. Yeah. But it's not on a regular, consistent basis.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't make it seem like we as viewers should expect that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
because we can only expect what we're given on a regular basis. If on a consistent basis, we're given good matches, not a whole lot of story development. That's what we expect of Collision. And then when they drop a huge story beat like this on Collision, and then like I guess in my mind the catch-22 that they're in now is, I feel like they're aware that the expectation is not much happens on Collision, so that's what they give people.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, they put this segment on Collision versus Dynamite, probably because the idea is, put this on Collision, people get talking about it, and they'll tune in.
Every other match on that show, by the way, was an enhancement match.
Yeah.
It was Okada Commander, which I'm sure was good. Undisputed Kingdom versus Garcia in 2.0. Shibata versus Takeshita for the international title. It's like none of it. Well, I'm not calling Shibata an enhancement guy, but at this point in AEW, he ain't winning any titles anytime soon.
I mean, all the matches you could tell from looking at the matchup who was going to win.
Yeah, and it wasn't even close.
No, there's no doubt in terms of the outcomes of those matches.
But getting back to the Toni thing, like, I agree. I think there should have been more. Mariah maybe thinking that she got to Toni so much that she now kind of owns Toni. It's like, my God, I humiliate her to such a degree that she's wired weird now, and she's doing this whole rookie thing. And then there was a subterfuge to pull her in, have her be, completely confident. And then you drop the ball on her. Hey, guess what? It was all a performance. I got you.
Yeah. And Toni did kind of allude to that during that segment, and alluding to the All About Eve story and how it played out in the finish of the movie, where once Eve usurps the starring role like Mariah did, someone else comes along and does to Eve what Eve did to I can't remember who the actor she replaced.
Yeah,
can't remember the character's name is off the top of my head. And Toni alluded to that. Mm-hmm. She said, I want to be just like you.
Yeah, in this segment alone, they played out what a story could have been over. I guess that's my point.
Yes.
They did do that in the segment in on its own.
In the span of like 3 minutes, they told a story that they probably could have taken a couple months on.
Or at the very least, a couple weeks.
A couple weeks.
I know. They could have done it. If you want to get to the Grand Slam, I get it. It's a couple weeks.
At least give it a couple weeks.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with this one. I think that they probably should have. They could have and should have milked. This is really good stuff.
It is.
Why wouldn't you want to go longer with it?
I know. Build and build. Because then if you start building it and you drop hints that this is happening,
when's it gonna happen?
People are gonna get excited about it. Mm-hmm. And if they don't know when it's going to happen, but they don't know when it's going to happen, but they do know it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. There's a reason to tune in.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Dynamite, maybe even Collision.
Yeah.
You advertise the same with Toni Storm. Oh, is this when Timeless is coming back? No?
Yeah.
All right, must be on Dynamite. You get people excited about it, but they just...
Yeah.
It was a good segment, though.
Yeah, it was a good segment.
Gorilla Mon has a hot take.
Hot.
Says, after that promo, Punk and Cody should be the main event of WrestleMania. That was really good stuff, and it had the foundation of any good WrestleMania rivalry. Steve agrees with this 1,000%.
So...
Steve wants this match. He wants the main event of WrestleMania. He wants CM Punk to leave WrestleMania not only main eventing the whole show, but being Undisputed Champion. Yes?
Wait, who leaves Undisputed Champion?
Punk.
No. I think Cody should win.
You want Cody to beat him.
It is.
Ooh, this would be a tough situation for you. You got your two favorites. You got your favorite of now, Cody, versus your favorite of 2012, 2013, 2011, CM Punk.
Maybe even all time.
Man,
Look,
that's a
dude,
tough. That's inner turmoil for Steve there.
On one hand, it's inner turmoil. On the other hand, it's like a Steve-centric WrestleMania main event. And who doesn't love that?
Well, no, you would.
I definitely would. Because I'm Steve. Larson, I will say this. I'll say this. I honestly believe the Punk Cody... Oh, boy, that's a tough one. Look, there's going to be two possible scenarios here. Punk Roman, Punk Cody.
You don't think Punk Gunther is a possibility?
No. That Punk's gunning for the top two. Punk Roman has to be the more interesting promo story thing. You know, the weeks between the Rumble and WrestleMania, Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns. If Roman doesn't allow himself to be out promoted, if the creative doesn't allow that to happen, then this can be fire. Like awesome stuff.
It could be all-time stuff, yeah.
I don't necessarily know how much better Punk Cody can get from what we saw on Raw this week.
Yeah. I mean, the one tack that they could take, and it would involve probably tag matches and stuff like that, is...
He sounds so excited for that. Tag matches and stuff.
You know, one of the things that Punk managed to do, to an extent, at least for a moment, is put doubt in Cody's mind that he was built for this. I mean, because Punk, like you said, I feel like I let you down. I didn't prepare you for this. You're not prepared to handle the weight of being champion for this long, because it does something to a man. If he just chips away at that, needles Cody, keep sticking it to him. So by the time Cody walks into WrestleMania, you think he was a mess on Raw this week, just an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
Can't keep it together, can barely put together a match, has to find the fortitude from within to try to defend that title, but he still takes pride in being champion. But in the end, Punk's in his head too much. Punk wins.
Punk wins. Well, no, that's when Cody has to overcome. Cody ain't losing that title. Dude, honestly, like, I don't know. I don't know what scenario I see is more likely. John Cena winning the Cody title, John Cena winning the World Heavyweight Championship, because that feels like not enough. But I just don't think that, I mean, everything they say about Cody is kind of true. He's the champion. He's the top guy. He's the guy they send to radio. He's the guy they send to TV. And he makes a shit ton of money for the company as champion. I don't know if they're going to win. It's kind of like when Roman kept on winning. I don't know if they want to dick with that. I don't know if they want to stir that pot.
Well, I guess at least in the case of Cena, you got someone who is a major crossover star. He's going to get a lot of media attention if he were to win the title at WrestleMania. So I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of lapse in terms of the stuff you're talking about.
Okay. All right. You're probably right.
And then he's got the story of, if they do this, I'm going to keep going until the wheels fall off or until I lose this title, whatever the case is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
and I
true.
think that would bring people in. And that's not a slight at Punk. Punk just hadn't had the success in acting and endeavors to the same scale that Cena has.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one. That's why I don't think it's going to be. I don't think Punk is going to win. If it's Punk and Cody, Punk ain't going to win, and I don't think he should. So. I really don't.
I don't think he should either.
He's the most popular guy they have, but he's Cody is that guy. And on top of that, Cody's got to go to Saudi Arabia. I don't know how Punk gets to Saudi Arabia ever.
Oh, I don't think that happens.
I don't think he does. I mean, he'll have to say some pretty controversial things to get himself out of what he had already said. But getting back to it, I just think that the promos and the intrigue and the fan reaction to Punk Roman, I think that's more intriguing than Punk Cody. I do, because you got, especially with Heyman there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and I mean, I still think that probably should main event night too. It probably won't though.
I mean,
but we have that bet. I'm good with that bet.
To do Cody Cena for the title on a stage like this is the one and only chance they get. This is it. Yeah, they could do it at SummerSlam or at Crown Jewel or something. Those shows are huge. Ain't WrestleMania. This is the one and only chance they get to do this. So if they're going to do this, it has to be now.
It is funny because they have completely kept on the whole, I've main evented WrestleMania, and everybody who says that, when do they main event? Night one. It's like Seth Rollins main event. Well, Seth Rollins main evented a couple times, but last year he main evented night one in a tag. Sami Zayn main evented night one in a tag.
Yeah.
But yeah, so man, I don't know. I do think though that Punk versus Roman, if that's what we're gonna get, I think those 3 months are going to be absolutely outstanding television. I think as long as Roman's there, which I think he will be, that's going to be outstanding television. Although I'd love to see your scenario of Punk Cody, where Punk kind of like, on the down low chips away at Cody. If they wanted to do their own reveal where Punk is doing that, but then more overtly, they have like a full on reveal of him as like being a bad guy and intentionally manipulating Cody. Also to justify Punk losing at WrestleMania, because if he's a bad guy, then even if the crowd is fully behind him, because they will be, it doesn't matter what he does, it'll be more palatable, I think, because I think people still really love Cody. I don't think they're going to turn on him anytime soon either.
Yeah.
So I think regardless is going to be good stuff, but I do think that the more interesting stuff clearly is with Heyman and Roman.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Go Birds. XTL here with a hot take says this is the most unpredictable WrestleMania Royal Rumble season in some time, but the only choice for the night 1 and 2 main events are Rhea versus Bianca and Cody versus Punk.
Wow, the disrespect to Roman Reigns. Interesting.
I mean, how many main events has Roman got?
A lot. A ton.
He has the record for most WrestleMania main events, I believe, or at least tied.
Is it over? Yeah, I know we've done this math before.
It's like 6 or 7 Manias he's main evented, hasn't it been?
Is it only that?
31, 32, 33, 34.
Not 35. That was the
35. 36, no.
36 was pandemic.
37.
Yeah.
39, 40. That's at least 7.
Mm-hmm,
I'm not counting 38. What was 38? That was the Dallas one. Yeah, 38. So he has 8 WrestleMania main events.
Mm-hmm, yeah, that was Brock, wasn't it?
That was Brock, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he's got 8 main events, yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. Cody, you know what? It'll be interesting. If Roman...
Actually, 9 if you include both nights of WrestleMania 40.
Yeah, right. If Roman truly did pass the torch last year, then Cody should get night 2. But I mean, again, if they're considering everything main eventing, then Roman will get night 1.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, where it goes down or what goes down. Rhea Bianca, I need to see. Look, that's a top star versus top star match. Boy, they pay so little attention to like the women's division for like the really good creative. And if they did, then absolutely it'd be, oh, this is main event worthy. It should be. It should be. They should pay that close attention
absolutely,
to it.
Absolutely, 1,000%. And they're stars of the magnitude that match should absolutely main event WrestleMania.
But I don't see them putting the creative effort into it. So it's going to be like, well, it's not the best story. It's not the best story. Well, the best story is going to be whatever they put their efforts into. So yeah, the only night for choice 1 and 2 main events are Rhea versus Bianca, Cody, Punk. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Punk Roman. I think that could I think that could main event. I think that could be a night 2 main event. I really do.
Not if Cody and Cena happens though.
I need to see more of Cena these days. This
movie right
corny ass John Cena.
Oh, we're gonna get a lot of corny John Cena until he wins something.
I know, man. I just can't do that stuff anymore. Hey, you know what? Talk about winning stuff. You won predictions.
Oh, that's right.
This past
Yay
month,
for me.
This Friday, Larson. The coronation of a lifetime. This is going to be awesome and massive and a really awesome event. And it can't be just contained to this is not a situation where I could just go to your house and give you the hat and we
you're
barely
really insistent
exchange
on
a word.
that. You can't just drop it off and leave it with me.
I'm not just going to drop it off and leave it with you. No, we need to milk this. It's a big moment. I imagine it'll happen plenty more times for you, but this is your first one, so we got to make a big deal about it.
Hold on.
What?
You're selling yourself short. You're talking like you don't think you'll ever win.
I'm trying to be realistic. I'm not very good at predictions, So you coming over, us making a big deal about it in front of the Friendos, for the Friendos to show what they could win, what it could look like for them, for their own coronation. Not here. They're not coming here. I'm not coordinating anybody else. So that's
if I
happening.
win it again, you're not going to coordinate me a second time?
If we need subs, yes.
All right.
This Friday, youtube.com/Steven Larson, twitch.tv/Steven Larson. The coronation of Larson as predictions champion is going down. That's right. Larson going down on that day. You heard it. You heard it here first. All right. Moving on now.
Walrus Gaming.
7 Walrus Gaming.
Sorry. Says this. Seth Rollins should win this year's Royal Rumble match.
Mitch.
Cena should face more adversity, so he shouldn't win. I believe Punk should weasel his way into a 3-way match with Rollins and Gunther, which allows a much-needed Rollins heel turn after WrestleMania. So 7 Walrus Gaming 7 thinks that Punk's favor should be getting into a World Heavyweight Championship match and make it a 3-way dance.
Wow, what a waste of a favor. Paul Heyman be like, why would you want to get in on the mid-card world title match? Number one, listen, man. God, boy. Seth Rollins really is the Brett of our day. He's going to win the Royal. Remember when Shinsuke Nakamura won the Rumble? And then he was like, hey, guess what? I'm going to challenge AJ Styles in the mid-card of WrestleMania instead of going after whoever Brock, whoever had
and
that
then
year.
Lose and then kick AJ right in the front area.
Yeah, I like that part. That was funny. They should add AJ fart also when he did that.
Well, I mean, why stop at just flatulence?
Oh,
why not a full soil?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like what? So somebody's going to win the Rumble and point at Gunther?
Yeah, Seth would. He loves that World Heavyweight Championship, man.
I know, but like, didn't he hear CM? But didn't he listen to CM Punk's promo? When you're the undisputed champion, it's undisputed. You're the man.
Seth thinks he can make the World Heavyweight Championship the championship. That's his thing.
Well, he didn't the first time. What makes him think he could do it this time?
He learned a lot along the way the first time that he was going to apply the second time around.
They completely and totally just told us all on Monday night in that post-Raw promo after the Georgia Peach logo, which you always know the show's over when the Georgia Peach show's over.
That's what I've been conditioned to think, yes.
Like nothing happens on Collision, and when the Georgia Peach happens, the show's over.
Show's over.
Punk pointed at that title, said, that title makes you unequivocally the man, the guy. Not the one that showed up earlier in the show to open it. No.
Yeah.
This is the main event title. Why would Punk then move over lower himself down. If he's got a favor to spend, weasel your way into the main title match.
Exactly.
That's what he should do.
Yeah.
But that being said, Seth Rollins winning the Rumble, I'd be fine with it. He needs something, man. They got to give him something, dude.
Yeah, I could see it happening.
Or he can take on Penta.
Sorry, Seth.
Lo siento, Seth. RG Justin Lewis has a hot take. Says, Jay losing to Gunther so many times for the IC and world title just to win the Rumble or more likely Elimination Chamber to face and finally overcome Gunther at Mania and winning the world title would be the best story.
I don't think Jay's got great odds at facing Gunther again at WrestleMania and then winning. I don't see it happening, honestly.
No.
Look, I like Jay.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of criticism in the internet wrestling circles. People say he's not a good wrestler.
Yeah.
I think he's a fine wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a good entertainer.
He's a wonderful entertainer.
He's a wonderful entertainer, and he's got the crowd behind him. And yes, at some point, they got to give him a win in a huge match.
Do they, though?
Yeah, because I feel like at a certain point, you got to reward the fans' investment in his character. And if they invest so fully in Jay, for him to continuously come up short, at a certain point, they'll be like, why are we supporting this dude? He's a loser, you know? So at a certain point, I know he had the Intercontinental title when he was champ for 2 weeks or something like that, you know? And
yeah.
A month, maybe. I don't know how long it was. It wasn't very long.
Wasn't very long.
Needs something a little more substantial than that. I'm not saying he needs to have it for 300-plus days. Give him the world title for, I don't know, 3 months.
The world title, given that it's a mid-card world title, absolutely should be used to reward people like Jey Uso and Sami Zayn for their hard work and for getting over organically. As long as they understand this is a title that will never main event over Cody Rhodes' title, then yes, they can put world champion to their name. And at that point, does it really matter? Because you're not really world champion.
They really should have Gunther beat Cody at Crown Jewel.
You know, and I don't, you know, it'd just be weird. At that point, it'd be weird. It's like, why is Cody Rhodes main eventing everything when the guy who beat him is still in the mid card?
Well, I mean, Gunther main evented the show in Berlin. Main evented Saturday Night's main event. Cody was on both those shows.
Cody's contract signing, you're right, did not main event. Mm-hmm. That was kind of surprising to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, yeah, I don't know. He's incredibly over. As long as they have him, you know, what is he? Well, now he's going to be in the Rumble. Who do you think he's going to fight at Mania? What do you think, Jay? What do you think Jay's going to do at Mania? Andre the Giant Battle Royal?
Nah, he did that already. It was like 3 years ago he won that.
2 times, yeet.
I don't know. Maybe they'll have some sort of multi-person match for the Intercontinental title or something. Maybe him, Penta, Braun, Sheamus. I don't know. I know that's the issue though. Is you have someone who's one of the most popular, if not the most popular performer on Raw. He should have a major role at WrestleMania, but outside of the world title picture, I just don't know what that is.
Given that he beat Drew with like a roll-up, do you think it's going to be him versus Drew?
I suppose it could be.
It's possible. Drew gets the win at WrestleMania over Jey Uso.
No, that feels like that has to be definitive Jey.
What? Jey already beat him.
Roll up.
This is Drew's year. No way. Drew has to win. Drew's whole story right now is beat everybody bloodline, and he can't even do that.
Yeah, no, I thought he was going to lose to Sammy last night, honestly. They were like, he's 10-0 against Sammy. I'm like, all right, Sammy's due.
Yeah, you would think so. So, yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't think that would be the best story, man. Just because, like, it's Gunther. I like Gunther and everything, man. But, like, boy, this world title reign is not. They got some work to do on it.
They do.
They got to put in some work on
it. Toucan, here with the hot take, says both Saturday night's main events they've done so far have felt like house shows or just regular TV main events to the point where you could skip them and not miss anything.
Okay, dude, listen. Larson.
What?
What really happens at house shows?
Hijinks.
Yeah,
Tomfoolery.
Like CM
Wrestlers
Punk
break
coming out-
character, yes.
Wrestlers break character. CM Punk comes out in a towel and a hair thing.
Shower
They wear
cap.
the shower cap. They wear their T-shirts. They try to sell some merch. They have a good time, and nothing is canon. Nothing. And I know there's been like here and there back when, what was it, like Benoit and Booker T or whatever it was when they were doing the
AJ
best of
Styles
seven.
won the U.S. title at a house show over
Right.
Kevin
Okay.
Owens.
Right.
It happens from time to time. Bob Backlund got beat by Diesel at a house show.
Right. Yeah. And that was
For
like
the
at a
WWF
low
title.
point, in WWF's history. Nothing happens at house shows. We had a terrific title match, Rhea versus Nia. Really good stuff. A former champion versus current champion to sort of get Nia out of the title scene and into the Rumble. You had a contract signing where you can look at it one of two ways. It's a contract signing. They put pen to paper and that's kind of it. But it was a fairly entertaining one. You had Shawn Michaels mixing it up in there. We got some sweet chin music. Not going to get that on a house show. You had Gunther versus Jey Uso in a pretty decent match. Title match on television. Now, if you want to call them, do they come off like regular TV main events? Sure. That's a far shot away from house show matches, though.
Listen to you defending house shows.
No, I'm not. I'm saying
Oh,
house
sorry, I
shows
mean
are...
the opposite. Not defending house shows. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
I
no.
misspoke.
Look, house shows are fun,
They
but
are.
don't start calling shit on television that actually has bearing on storylines comparable to a house show, which could never... House shows could go away and there'd be no change to the stories whatsoever. That's not the case. Sheamus versus Braun Breaker was a blow-off match, apparently. According to Braun Breaker, it was anyways.
Here's the benefit of house shows and how they affect TV is sometimes with the matches we get on TV, guess where they practice them? On house shows.
Absolutely, because they need
So
reps.
they do have some bearing on what happens on television.
They test some stuff out. What I'm saying is those are like, it has no direct storyline bearing on what we see TV.
In this sense, it kind of does. From us, who are aware, Solo Sikoa came off as even more of a chump because we knew he had lost like 46 matches in a row, including the house shows.
Okay, that is a good point. That's a good point.
So I don't think you can say house shows have no bearing.
All right.
Minimal. I'll
Fair
agree,
enough.
minimal. Very often what happens on house shows have zero bearing on television, but I think if you're aware of their existence and what happens at them, it can inform a little bit about how you view the characters.
Absolutely. I thought for sure that Punk was going to be taking on Gunther at the Royal Rumble because he'd been fighting Ludwig and Gunther on the house show circuit. And then that
He had a
didn't
cage
happen.
match against Gunther at the Chicago house show. I believe.
Yeah. I mean, look, man, I'm not devaluing house shows. I'm just saying, like,
Kind of seems like you are, though.
well, to the degree that it's not the same thing as what you see on television.
No, it's not.
And granted, Saturday night's main event, is it like, pay-per-view level main event type matches? No, of course not. It is for, as people say, the casuals try to get a different audience.
Yeah,
The
that's the
network
purpose.
audience, apparently. I don't know. People with rabbit ears still? Who knows? But I don't think it's the same thing, dude.
Next, Marvell. Hot take.
Hot.
Hurt Syndicate should win the trios titles next, and Bobby should win the TNT title and be the first triple champion while Shelton is double champ. All the belts.
I mean, yeah, why is Bobby only winning the TNT title?
Have him beat Mox.
Have Bobby beat Mox.
Yeah, let's get the title off Mox. Sooner the better, honestly.
Yeah, really. I don't care who it is. Bobby would be great though. I think it'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
You listen to that crowd on Dynamite last week?
Yeah, people love Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love
People
the Hurt
love Bobby.
Syndicate.
They love Hurt Syndicate.
They just love when people beat people up. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with this.
Not at all. I'd say do it. Yeah.
I don't
Immediately.
think it's gonna happen, but
If anything, you have Bobby beat Mox. You have Shelton beat Garcia.
yeah.
You have Hurt Syndicate beat Death Riders for the trios titles, and then they
Yeah.
keep the tag titles.
Who would win the internet? Well, no, Kenny's gonna. What about is there another
MVP.
title for MVP? Which one would he get?
Oh, between the International and the Continental?
Isn't there? There's not another one. Ring of Honor World Title.
Okay, well,
Who's they got that now?
Jericho.
Oh yeah, get that off him. Oh hey, MVP Jericho. That's a good one.
There's a story there.
There's a story there, man. All right, man. What's our next hot take?
Christian Ramirez here says, even after a long title reign last year, Liv Morgan seems underrated. She's so unselfish and good at making her opponents look good. Might actually be bad and pigeonhole her into being a quality win for other wrestlers instead of the breakout face potential we saw before against Ronda Rousey.
I like Liv Morgan, man. I think she grew a lot from this Rhea thing. I think she's in a much better spot than she is now. Dude, I was thinking about this. Charlotte gets Tiffany.
Yeah.
Bianca gets Rhea.
Yeah.
Becky and Liv. They can rerun. Because didn't Liv take that title off Becky?
Yeah. Yep.
Play that back. That's a prominent role for Liv Morgan right
there. That would be a pretty significant.
But, that's a big match.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a big match at WrestleMania, yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think Liv's grown as a performer a lot during this title reign. It is a bummer that it's a couple bummers. Bummer that we don't know if the timeline for the feud with Rhea got disturbed at all because of injuries. Mm-hmm. Creative wasn't always the best for everybody involved with the post Judgment Day breakup and kind of restructuring. But given what was given to Liv creatively, I thought she did a really good job. Yeah, we saw a lot of growth as a performer, and I think she's kind of situated to do a lot of really good things going forward.
If you look at everything she's done, if you look at her character from her return until now, there's more. She is so certain of who she is relative to what all of the stuff was before. When she was like crazy, I want to do pain stuff. That lasted a couple months, or felt like it lasted a couple months.
Yeah.
Everything before all that stuff, none of it stuck. None of it was, I know who this person is. I definitively can tell you who Liv Morgan is right now, and that has helped her tremendously.
Yep.
So if she has nothing else, she's got a world title, a definitive world title reign to her name, and she has an actual character, and I'm sure she's very happy about both those things.
Yeah. All right, got one more hot take here from Jake Jones.
Hot.
Says Marina Shafir needs to go after the Women's World Championship to make the Death Riders feel somewhat more interesting. If the story is AEW versus the Death Riders, shouldn't they also include the women's division with Marina? 1,000%.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't.
Death Riders should be going after all the titles.
I know. I agree.
The way this is just
why you got that title on Garcia? Why you got that title on Garcia? You don't need that title on Garcia.
So he could tag with 2.0, evidently.
He ain't doing nothing with it. He's tagging with 2.0.
I know. What, is Adam Cole going to feud for the TNT title?
Oh, my God. Probably not. He seems like he's so happy to be with his friends again, though.
Yeah, he does.
Adam Cole. Is it being out of the MJF feud?
I mean, we've been saying for months.
You
got to expand the scope of the story if it's going to feel like a seismic event in AEW, and they haven't done that. I mean, I think Ospreay is just about the only person to address, or one of the few people to address, why he's not involved. We just kind of have to assume that's the case with everybody else that's not involved, and it seems like they should be.
Right.
But there's no reason why Death Riders should not be going after every title.
I know.
Every single one.
From the start, when Mox said, "This isn't your company anymore, Tony Schiavone," and then left and everybody was confused, and Excalibur was saying, "Oh my gosh, he must be aligned with Shane McMahon," because I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
I mean, not so many words, but
it has not been handled all that great.
It's been approaching a disaster situation, Steve. Let's be honest. The viewers, fans,
boy, they have
just leaving.
People fans of AEW, like people who defend AEW, they're all confused. People are rallying around this like it is just an abject catastrophe. Is the general sentiment behind it. So they need to rid themselves of this. They can't right the ship, Larson.
No,
they can't right the ship.
They can't right it.
You gotta
you put a hole in it, you sink it in the ocean. I don't know.
You got to get on those rafts. Who's playing the violin? It's the only question at this point.
That is a good question.
What songs are they singing on the raft?
I don't know. Do you know any sea shanties?
Well, when the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by.
All right, sounds good to me.
No, I can't say Undertaker because that's WWE. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.